Hi, I'm Monique from Boxcar Marketing with your 1-minute marketing tip, and today's tip is about crafting a really great presentation that resonates with people. And the principles of storytelling that I've talked about in previous tips that apply to your content strategy and written material that you produce for print or the web certainly apply to presentations as well. So you want to, in a presentation, start with a story, and then set the hook, and then introduce yourself. So most people start by introducing themselves, and at that point the audience doesn't yet care about you. But if you start with a story, stories are like magic. There's something about storytelling and having someone tell you a story that is ingrained in us as humans. And so if you start with that story, it's going to be a lot easier to then set the hook. You've got the audience and their attention. Then you introduce yourself, and then set the stage. Talk about how you got here, or what the presentation is about, or what they as audience members need to know or understand in terms of assumptions that you've baked into that presentation. Really quickly, you want to get to the turning point. You want to tell them something they know to build and reinforce your credibility, and then you want to tell them something that they don't know. Or you want to connect the dots to the things that you already collectively know. And that turning point is really this call to adventure. It's basically saying, trust me as your guide for the next half hour, 45 minutes, 3 hours, however long your presentation is. The guts of your presentation, if you need to persuade someone at the end of the day to take action or to change their behavior or to consider your theory or concept, which is different than the status quo, which is often the case when we're giving presentations. We want to affect change within members of that audience. So you can do that with these, powers of persuasion that basically set up these contrasts throughout the presentation of what is versus what could be if they follow your plan, if they take on your particular movement or action or cause, if they do the process that you're recommending. So it's all about creating that back and forth, moving your audience from being uninformed to informed, from being bored to entertained. So you want to think about how you move and create tension in the presentation in order to retain their interest throughout. Towards the end, you want to reinforce that story that you told at the beginning. You're basically bringing it back around to the beginning so that you can basically have a second turning point, which is ultimately your call to action. You want people to leave and do some particular thing. So in order to do that, you want to end your presentation on a higher note than you started. So you give them something to ponder and then end with the reward, right? You want to reinforce the reward of what could be if they follow whatever it is that you've been presenting on or pitching them as an idea, or suggesting that they do in terms of their personal life, their business life, or society overall. So you're going to start with a story, you're going to set the hook, you're then going to introduce yourself, and then set the stage. Create that turning point, that call to adventure, build in the contrasts and persuasive points of your argument that create that sense of tension to draw people along through the rest of your presentation. Reinforce the story to connect the dots back to the beginning, and then create that second turning point, that call to action, and then make sure that you're leaving them with something to ponder, and finally that reward. That big reward is the thank you for giving me your attention for 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. I'm Monique from Boxcar Marketing, and that certainly exceeds the 1 minute time frame for today, but I do really like this idea of storytelling and how it applies to the marketing materials you create, whether those are press releases, blog posts, white papers, or presentations. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.